technicians with the tools, training, and technology to restore your comfort quickly. No matter what brand, when you need service, just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
We're going to see a few showers around here for your Friday before we bring in a chance for some thunderstorms later on this evening into tonight. We'll get up to 76 for high temperature here today. That chance of thunderstorms will continue overnight. We'll drop down to a low temperature of 60 degrees. And then for your Saturday, 81 with, again, another chance for showers and thunderstorms. I'm meteorologist Aaron Dowden for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
What do you look for when searching for a plumbing company? Integrity? Positive customer reviews? Are they insured and fully licensed? How about a company that has all three? Deals Plumbing in Lincoln is your go-to certified plumbing company that can help you fix anything from leaks to clogs, water heaters, and more. Give Deals Plumbing a call today at 402-525-7311, or you can visit Deals Plumbing online at dealsplumbing.com.
This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer, Jay Foreman. Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Welcome to it on a Friday. Austin Orman, Eric Strickland with you for the next couple hours here on The Ticket. This is On the Block, brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Special ingredient butcher shop. You can learn more at themercadobutcher.com. Check them out at any of their 3 Lincoln locations or one up in Omaha. Stricky, we finally got those football yahoos out of here. It's still basketball season, dang it. Still basketball
season. It still
season.
is. It's still jumping off. Still got a little bit more time, but real soon we'll be up at the Blur.
Yeah, the World Series,
week from
College World
today.
Series action.
How
So we're
about
looking
that?
forward to that. So go and get your tickets. Go to Blur Events, get your tickets. We'll be there live and in color. That'll be something that'll be exciting and fun. I think this is going to be another fun one. When you look at this series coming up, we're not going to dig into it deep, but we'll get there. But just on the observation of the super regionals and everything, you being a resident baseball guy, like, how does it look compared to last year? Like, as we're starting to progress to it, obviously we haven't fully got there yet, but as you're looking at the teams that are kind of making their way and it's starting to solidify itself, as you're looking at it, Austin, like, how do you feel about, like, last year you knew coming in, like with Florida, and you had some mashers, it was going to be some bombs, it was, it was that kind of flow to it. You knew the names, the schemes, and the likes of those types. Not
that was a couple years
That
ago,
was a couple years, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I think last year was a lot of star power, right? Tennessee with 55 wins. You had Florida State, North Carolina, and Virginia, and NC State all out of the ACC. Only two conferences represented, the SEC and the ACC. The underdog, such as it was probably North Carolina State. If it wasn't them, it was Kentucky making its first appearance. You had Florida with a barely over 500 record, but they tore through regionals and supers. A&M looked really good. They made it all the way to the final before losing there. So I don't think if we look at this bracket, we're going to have maybe quite the same level of star power potentially.
Yeah.
If you look at the teams that are left, North Carolina beat Arizona 18-2 today. Carolina's good. They're pretty good. I wouldn't say they're elite. Wouldn't say they're a huge needle mover for Omaha. Miami and Louisville are playing right now. Neither one of those schools is huge. Miami maybe a little bit more history, but not huge. Florida State, Oregon State's going to be fun. Either one of those schools is a pretty regular contender for Omaha. And then Auburn and Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina has one of the best stories in College World Series history.
Yeah.
I can't say I know much about Auburn baseball.
Well, I do.
What do you know about Auburn baseball?
I don't know much about it, but I'm glad to see him there.
And then, I mean, you're guaranteed to have one of Duke or Murray State in Omaha. Brand new, essentially, to the scene. West Virginia, LSU.
So fresh faces.
Some fresh faces there. West Virginia, LSU should be a fun series. Tennessee, Arkansas. That's the 3-14 matchup somehow. Arkansas is the highest remaining seed left. Yeah, they might have the toughest draw here in the supers. And then UCLA or UTSA. Either one of those schools, I think, would be a lot of fun to see up in Omaha. So I don't think you're going to have quite the same star power as you had last year. Certainly not as many notable names. But I think however it shakes out, it should be a pretty fun field.
Before we get into what's hugely in the news right now is obviously the NBA Finals and how that all transcended. But could we, and I think we need to dig into this, could we begin to look to baseball and maybe some of the other non-power type things like football or basketball, non-power sports, and they are part of the big three, but you know what I'm talking about. And start to look at maybe some of these non-power 5 in football or 6 in basketball or whatever, and look at baseball where some of these universities are starting to like create their own niches. And maybe they're turning to your baseball, and maybe they're turning to your soccer, and that's kind of where they're looking like they're trying to create their little spot in the large scheme of sports.
Yeah,
is it something to look at?
Potentially. I think it's on the table, and I hope that there are those schools that decide some of those non-revenue sports are the avenue that they want to go. But again, the key word there is non-revenue.
Yeah.
How much money are you willing to put into a program to try to dominate a sport? And then what are you getting back out of it? It's one thing to win national titles, and you don't get nothing from them. But if you look at baseball, for example, it's going to be really interesting to see where college baseball, especially, I think, goes, because ESPN didn't renew its Major League Baseball contract. That's a hole in their programming. Sunday Night Baseball, Monday Night Baseball. Fox is around the scene, but not huge on it. TBS, Turner, same sort of deal. So I do think that there's an avenue for an enterprising commissioner, say a Tony Petitti, right, to try to slide in with Fox and say, hey, we're here, right? We want you to invest in Big Ten baseball. if you promise to air our games and give us this level of financial support for baseball, we promise to do XYZ or do our best to get our coaches, our athletic directors, our programs to commit XYZ number of resources, number of facilities, whatever it is. But that's where I think, again, the SEC and the ACC have maybe a bit of a built-in advantage because they already have the SEC and ACC networks that are playing baseball constantly in the spring and into the summer when these teams get to Omaha. So I would love to see the Big Ten invest more in it. I think baseball sets itself up to where you can get a Cinderella story because you get multiple cracks at it, right? Because in football and basketball, you're one and done.
Yeah.
And sometimes that random nature, a team gets hot, you can keep rolling. But sometimes in baseball, you need that little bit of margin for error. So I hope that we continue to see investment there. Softball certainly is growing, volleyball across the country as well. But I do think that as we move toward this era of revenue sharing, a lot of the programs that are going to be good, that are going to stay good, are the ones that already have some of those built-in advantages from taking advantage and making good use of the system that's been in place for X number of years already.
Oh, understood. Good stuff. Way to break it down.
That's what we do here on the block.
That's what we do. We're going to give it to you from different angles and different perspectives and different thoughts. And we're just not stuck on what's the shiny new object of the day. We'll give you that too. But I just find it interesting as I started to look at it and seeing it start to break down. I thought that was an interesting thing that popped into my head.
I would agree. If you want to chime in on the show, be a part of it, 402-464-5685. Drop a line on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line or the comment section. Stricky, them Pacers.
Bruh.
They did it again. I pulled up a series of tweets last night for people making observations. Do you want the crazy Pacers stats, the Pacers comeback stats, or the Pacers clutch stats first?
Let's go in that same order. The crazy, the first one, second one, and third. Let's run it just like that. I want to definitely hear the not the comeback, but the
clutch.
The clutch at last.
Okay. Indiana had 17 more turnovers and 16 fewer field goal attempts last night and won the game.
Say it again.
The Pacers had 17 more turnovers and 16 fewer field goal attempts in Oklahoma City and won. 17 more turnovers, 16 fewer shot attempts. The Pacers turned it over 19 times in the first half. They lost the first half by 12. Second half, only 6 turnovers. They win the second half by 13 points. The Indiana Pacers now, this year, have 6 road wins where the leading scorer in the game was on the opposing team. The most of any NBA team in a single postseason of all time. Pacers don't need to have the game's best player, the game's leading scorer to win the games. Then there's this one. This was the Pacers' 7th time on the road, having all 5 starters score double-digit points in these 2025 playoffs, the most by any NBA team in a single postseason all time. Wow. That embodies team effort.
Yeah.
With those last 2 stats especially. That's crazy.
Well, we knew that this was what that was going to be about. Again, I still don't think they've done a good job in the marketing of it, but I think it showed improved in the game itself. You saw all the elements of what a great defensive team does. That's what they do. You saw the nervousness of a team getting there for the first time in a long, long time. And then you saw the resilience and the internal fortitude of a team that's what they've built. And you hear what I've encompassed into all of that. Team. And it showed. And that's one thing that you can appreciate about what we're seeing right now is the team concept of on both sides. Now, Shea, you've got those elements of the greatness from, obviously from the MVP. And then you saw it on the other side, didn't necessarily have the kind of Shea game, but that's who he is. He was the best at who he was. And you're going to get to that clutch part at some point when we'll talk more in detail about that.
That we will. Here's the comeback part. The Pacers rallied from a 15-point deficit to win Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Who, Stricky, if you had to guess, was the last team to rally to win from down 15 points in the NBA Finals? if you had to guess, last team to come back from down 15 to win a finals game.
I'm going to say Denver.
The Mavs.
Ooh.
In 11.
Ooh.
Coached by
that same gentleman right there,
Rick Carlisle.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? Indiana has come back from down 15 or more 5 times. The most such comebacks in a single postseason in the play-by-play era, which is since 1997. Stricky, when the Pacers go down by 15 or more points this year in the playoffs, they're 5-3.
It's some form of a lock-in. It's some form of a, you know, they talk about the zone. I've been in it as a player. They get into it as a team. It's some form of a switch. It's about to come out. I don't know if you've seen this, but it's about to come out. There, when I was young, Austin, there was a show. It was a cartoon. And I loved that cartoon because it totally encapsulated my mindset on team and how each of us individually can collectively come together to form something that's strong. And that's where I even got an analogy when I speak to basketball teams in a lot of instances. And everybody goes and they works on their individual things. They work on their drills. They work on their development and all of that. And ultimately, sometimes that creates a one mindset. I can do it. Mm-hmm. We talked about this at times in the old when we had the team back when Verge and that crew was there, how you could see at times they would bounce back to a mentality, kind of an AAU mentality. I got to do it. Mm-hmm. What it does, though, it creates this individual thing. And I would go up to players and I would kind of tap them on the cheek or something or on the arm with each finger. And I would say, how did that feel? Did you feel anything? No, that was weak, right? Mm-hmm. But this is what a team does, is they come together and collectively form this, which is that. And there's a show coming out called Voltron. Mm-hmm. It's a movie they're about to finally do. I don't know why they haven't done that movie.
It's iconic.
But it's iconic. Yeah. And I'm so glad that we're in this age, this technological age where they can really make that movie great. Mm. That's what Indiana, to me, did. You know, Halliburton is the head. Mm-hmm. I think it was the black one. I think it's either the black one or you know, I think there's black, green. They all come from each of the elements. One out of the earth, one out of the water, one from fire, from a volcano. And then the head brings them all together. That's what they do, man. And it seems that they get locked in and they become Voltron and they become unstoppable. That's a clippable. Hey, we need to clip that. We need to put that on 937 The Ticket as a clip because people will get what I'm talking about with what they saw in that game.
One more comeback stat.
Yeah.
The Pacers trailed by 9 with 2:52 to play. Since the start of the 1997 playoffs, teams were 0-21 in the NBA Finals when trailing by 7 or more points in the final 3 minutes of fourth quarter or overtime. Pacers just picked up the first win in NBA history. In that standpoint. Stricky, that's when I thought the Pacers were cooked. There were a number of times, right? 19 turnovers in the first half. Yeah, you're not feeling pretty great about that. Miles Turner misses that wing three that would have brought him to within 1 with like 4.5 minutes to go. And Oklahoma City scores the next possession. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, let's just look for the final score, see what it is. They go up by 9 with 2:52 to play. And then the one that I really thought it was about over. This is going to be the play of the game for me. Dort blocks Aaron Nesmith. Mm-hmm. Perfect textbook verticality, straight up, takes the contact in the chest, then blocks the shot. SGA scores on the other end and put him up 5 with 1.5 minutes to go. That was the last time Oklahoma City scored in the last 90 seconds. All right, here are the clutch stats. I'm going to run through these one at a time. The Pacers won an NBA Finals game that they led for 0.3 seconds. Not even a full second of lead. They were tied at 10. 0.3 seconds.
To where all you've got is a catch and throw.
Literally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tyrese Halliburton is 6 for 7 when taking a shot to tie or take the lead in the final 90 seconds of the fourth quarter or overtime this playoffs, the most such makes in a single postseason since 97. Live for the moment. Let's get the next one pulled up here. This one's from Micah Adams on Twitter. Halliburton is the only player with 3 go-ahead shots in the final 5 seconds in a single postseason. He's got more of those in the 2025 postseason than Kobe had his entire career.
Wow.
Since play-by-play began in 96, LeBron is the only player with more than 3 go-ahead shots in the final 5 seconds in a single postseason.
That's
the kind of company he's keeping. This is from Sam Quinn, then, of CBS. Again, first player of the play-by-play era to have a game-winning or game-tying shot in the last 3 seconds of OT or regulation in all 4 playoff rounds.
Wow.
Some guys dream of getting to do that once.
Right.
And he's done it 4 times this year. 2 more crazy clutch stats from the Pacers to get to here. First of all, from extra stats. Yeah, so it's LeBron James with 8 of those shots. Reggie Miller has 5. Tyrese has 5. Kobe has 4. Chris Middleton has 4. Those are your clutch guys. Tyrese Halliburton, though, 5 out of 6. Reggie was 5 out of 9. That's pretty good. Bron's 8 out of 20, and Kobe was 4 out of 18, for reference. Then the final clutch stat I have on the Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton is now 13 of 15 on shots to tie or go ahead in the final 2 minutes of games this season. The MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 0 for 7.
Wow. Real good up until that last moment in time. Those are good numbers. That's good numbers. And you know, look, we talked about this. I think this was the game they needed to get. And to do it in the way that they did it, the confidence has to go through the roof. Now, don't get it twisted. OKC is going to come back like gangbusters. They're going to come back and try to blow the dort off of you. And that's what we're going to probably see in this next game. But in the meantime, in between time, you've got to tip your hat, give a clap for what the Pacers were able to do in securing that game 1. Because there's a different type of shift of pressure that comes when you're it's all on the line. But they are the cardiac Pacers.
Hey,
they're them.
The Pacer makers.
Boy.
Or something like that. This is a good spot to take our first break of the show. We'll talk about the Thunder side of things when we get back. How did they let this one slip away? We'll get into that as we continue talking game 1 of the NBA Finals here during On the Block.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild's Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Put lawn irrigation on automatic. Think Judson Irrigation for worry-free service to Lincoln homeowners and business community. Judson Irrigation will turn on your sprinkler system in the spring, repair or redesign as needed, and turn it off in the fall. For service to orphan sprinklers, remember Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
We're going to see a few showers around here for your Friday before we bring in a chance for some thunderstorms later on this evening into tonight. We'll get up to 76 for high temperature here today. That chance of thunderstorms will continue overnight. We'll drop down to a low temperature of 60 degrees. And then for your Saturday, 81 with, again, another chance for showers and thunderstorms. I'm meteorologist Aaron Dowden for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Make sure you tune in every Saturday from 11 to 12 for all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman. Learn how the game of youth football has grown in and around the capital city with coaches, athletic directors, and league commissioners telling you all about it. It's all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman every Saturday from 11 to noon right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sauterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Strick and Austin with you here for On the Block. Jay Foreman will be along for Old School, 402-464-5685 if you want to chime in, be a part of the show. All right, Stricky, let's talk the Thunder side of things here. One more stat, I promise, until the next one. But how about this? So Zach Cram, who is writing for the NBA and ESPN, the Thunder threw just 208 passes in Game 1 of the NBA Finals, the fewest for any team in any game all season. Adjusted for pace, it's the second fewest in a playoff game since 2013-14. When you hear that the Thunder threw the fewest passes of any team in any NBA game all season, what does that tell you about what the Thunder did or didn't do and what the Pacers did or didn't do?
Well, it definitely tells you that they weren't doing what they normally do, which is a lot of ball movement, Obviously, you had success with Shea.
Club Shay.
Yeah, you had good success there. But that movement that makes them very effective, you got to figure, when did it slow down? At what point? At what point did it slow down? I mean, you can't. To me, that means there's a lot of they were. Let me just say this: first half, to me, it's kind of like fool's gold. Here's why: they're taking advantage of the steals, so it looks like everything is going good. What happens then, because it's fool's gold, you've got such a big lead. You're in one of the biggest moments of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Shea is shining, and there comes a point where somebody in their mind's eye says, I'm on this big stage. It's kind of like the actor, right? The actor, he's the lead or she's the lead. And then all of a sudden, you come in and start pushing people out the way. Ha! You start trying to, do the extra. You're an extra in the movie. You ever seen them?
Mm-hmm.
You ever seen like an extra in the movie where they're really in the back, but they trying to do some real extra so they can get seen?
Yeah, Left Shark in the Katy Perry Super Bowl.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what can happen. And I'm not saying fully, but you can kind of infer that that's kind of what transpired. Fool's gold first half. Get to the second half. Shea shining. Very efficient.
Ooh, I'll push back on that. 38 points. Stricky, he took 30 shots. He was 14 to 30.
But he's 50%. Dang near
30 shots.
But he's 50%. Are you mad that somebody's shooting 50% from 3 and 50% dang near from 2?
I just 30 shots, man.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
But
without a lot of ball movement.
But there you go.
That's the problem. It's 30 shots off of movement, and he's in his spots. That's fine. I thought Shea was taking the air out of the ball a little bit last night.
Facts. No, I'm listen. I'm saying Shea's shining because Shea's MVP. Shea's taking advantage of the moment himself. And guess what? It's no different. How many times have you watched Batman, the old school ones? Boom, bop, pow, the old school Batmans. How many times you think Robin got salty?
All of them.
Robin was salty, right? Batman was getting a shine. Jalen Williams, he's Robin.
Mm-hmm.
He said 30. You don't think he don't look at them, because they give them to us on the bench. They, you can take a look. One of the assistants, something. 30? Shoot, I need to get mine up.
He was 6 for 19. That's a problem.
There you go. There you go.
And he was their second leading scorer. 17 points on 19 shots. Not going to get it done. The other problem, though, is Lou Dort was the third leading scorer. He took 10. He's the only other player with double-digit shots. 5 and 9 from 3 is okay for him and his role. If he's going to be 3 and D, that's all right. But that tells you the Chet Holmgren wasn't very good. Ends up as a +4, but he also didn't play that much. Only 24 minutes for him on just 2 out of 9, and then not a whole lot of bench production either. I know Caruso had 11, but it didn't feel like he made that big an impact on the offensive end. Stricky, we talk about Oklahoma City.
Pause real quick.
Okay, pause.
What does that tell you? Again, I want to get this point before we go out. I told you on the last couple of days as we built up in previews for this that it was going to come down to a couple things. Coaching. You gave stats on who that was the last time this happened, Dallas Mavericks, and that coach is Rick Carlisle. He's good at this. But what he's also good at, taking his team, creating scenarios and situations and making you have to adjust. I don't know if he got that from Nelly, because that's where Nelly got it from. Nelly was I used to call him the mad scientist. But Carlisle basically took what could be an advantage for them. And in previous series, the success of Hartenstein, the success of Holmgren, not necessarily an elevated success, but a significant role, basically took them out.
Yeah.
Basically took them out of what, some of their what was it? What's the word I'm looking for? Some of their advantages in that space is because really they only got really one in Miles.
Right.
Obi
Toppin was playing 5.
Yes.
For a
that's
long
what he
time
did.
for them.
He did that to them for that reason.
That was a kryptonite for the Thunder last year. What got him beat by Minnesota was rebounding. Despite being the bigger team across the board, OKC got out-rebounded by 17.
Yeah.
17. And that's because, maybe in part, they didn't play Holmgren and Hartenstein together at all.
Yeah.
0 seconds of sharing the floor for those two players. They started Cason Wallace instead of Hartenstein, which I think that was the lineup they used in one of the games against the Pacers in the regular season, and they pulled it out with a win. Didn't work in game 1. Here's this, though, Stricky. The Thunder were 23 of 54 in the paint. 23 out of 54 in the
and
paint.
Shay's most of those.
For a team like the Thunder against a team like the Pacers.
Yeah, who is not Miles Turner's not your, big time rim protector. You even mentioned it in one of the earlier episodes this week of how he, where is he going to show up in that department?
Mm-hmm.
But boy, he hit him with a couple of hums. And he ended up with 3 blocks.
Yeah.
So he gave you a portion of that, hit you with a couple sidestep, bank 3. When you start seeing that, that's when you know you're in trouble.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
It'll be a long
you're in
night.
trouble. Yeah.
Stricky, what shot did I say the Pacers were going to need to create to have a chance in this series?
Corner.
What if I told you the Pacers?
What's the name of your show?
The Corner 3.
That part.
You know when that's airing next? Tonight at 6.
Tonight at 6. There you go.
Tune in for that.
Get in.
Guess how many corner 3-pointers the Pacers generated against the Thunder last night?
Corner 3s.
Corner 3s.
Let me see how many they took.
The Pacers ended up taking as a team
39 shots.
39.
39. Yeah, 39
Pacers.
shots. Of those 39, corner in my 20.
16.
Oh, okay.
Still pretty good.
Well, shoot, the majority of their makes. They only made 18.
They hit 10 of them.
Oh, shoot.
They hit 10 of 16
from
the corner.
We said that.
Told you to watch out for that going in.
Yeah.
The Pacers end up hitting 18 3-pointers on those 39 attempts. Like Stricky said, that's 46%. The Thunder weren't bad from 3, 11 out of 30. That's 36.7%. But Strick, for the Thunder, on the one hand, you let this game slip away.
How do you get
couldn't afford to
100
do that.
shots almost? They almost had 100 shots in the finals. Huh? That shows the pace of the Pacers.
Oh, absolutely.
Obviously, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here's the other part of it, though, Stricky. Not only did Oklahoma City lose the 3-point math by 21 points, they forced 25 turnovers and only had 11 points off of turnovers.
Oh, yeah.
11 points off of 25 turnovers.
Yeah, that's wild.
That
That's
can't happen.
wild.
If you're going to turn a team over that much, I mean, credit Indiana. Like a good chunk of those were dead ball. They didn't always give Oklahoma City the chance to run. That's where I think Indiana's sneaky good defense is going to try to make Shea win the series on his own, try to wear him down over the course. But man, if you're the Thunder, what's your headspace? Is it, man, we let this one slip? Or is it, hey, we played our game. We got 1 or 2 things to clean up. We know we'll be better in the points off turnovers next game. We're fine.
Well, that's what we're going to find out because remember, for both of these teams, we talked about how equal they really are. Both of them are in very similar spots. They are in elevated places of the unknown. They're in, if you're a video game player, PlayStation, Xbox, Atari, ColecoVision, I don't care what you pay. There's levels to this thing. You get to the next level, sometimes you get murked. You got to learn the lesson from the level.
Yep.
They're both in this elevated place. We're going to find out if OKC, at the level they've arrived, has learned from the previous levels, and they can make the adjustment and do better in this next one.
One of OKC's previous series.
Who's the referees in the next one? No, I'm just playing.
Well, we'll look it up. One of OKC's previous series started with an L. It wasn't over for him then. Let's take our final break of hour 1. We'll answer that question. I'll give you my thoughts and a comment from a salty Thunder fan on our YouTube stream. We'll get to that to wrap up hour 1.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Play ball!
Pitch the perfect idea for a family outing or date night with tickets to the next Salt Dogs game. Nothing says summer fun like an action-packed evening at Haymarket Park. Come root for the home team with a hot dog and a cold drink. Plus, visit saltdogs.com to learn about special events and promotions, including group discounts. Don't miss out on the thrill and excitement of a Salt Dogs win. Visit saltdogs.com to reserve your tickets today.
Put lawn irrigation on automatic. Think Judson Irrigation for worry-free service to Lincoln homeowners and business community. Judson Irrigation will turn on your sprinkler system in the spring, repair or redesign as needed, and turn it off in the fall. For service to orphan sprinklers, remember Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
We're going to see a few showers around here for your Friday before we bring in a chance for some thunderstorms later on this evening into tonight. We'll get up to 76 for high temperature here today. That chance of thunderstorms will continue overnight. We'll drop down to a low temperature of 60 degrees. And then for your Saturday, 81 with, again, another chance for showers and thunderstorms. I'm meteorologist Aaron Dowden for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sauterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com. Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
One final segment here in hour one, talking NBA playoffs, and then it's been too long. We're freestyling. We'll freestyle to kick off hour two of On the Block. Let's go to our YouTube stream. Seth G. Thunder are done for. I thought we had it against Indy, but nope. Got a bad feeling about this one. This is spoken like a team that hasn't been to the finals since Durant, Westbrook, and Harden. Okay, they've been a good organization. They've been a good franchise. It's a young core starting to grow up. But Strick, this is really the, I'd say $1 million question, but a couple $100 million question for these guys. And at the end of the day, are the Thunder still learning from last year in what bit them? Do they have some of that same shell shock and maybe stage fright from what happened against Minnesota? Or is this just what happened against Denver 2.0? Oklahoma City had that series at home. Obviously, it's the 1 seed. They get the Aaron Gordon 3 that beats them in game 1. It was a hard-fought series. Got pushed all the way to the brink. On the one hand, it feels like, hey, maybe the Pacers found something. Maybe the Pacers did their thing, and the Thunder have some problems they got to solve. On the other hand, there's a part of me that says maybe this is 2001 finals, where AI went off for 48 in his finals debut against the Lakers, who were huge favorites, and then the Lakers flexed their muscle and won the next 4 games. I don't know what I'm feeling. Do you think the Pacers found something? Do you think this is just a blip on the radar for the Thunder?
There's a conversation you had with a group. Was it on X?
No, it's not. It was. I was texting friend of the program, Jacob Bigelow, and friend of the program, Wilson Moore.
Okay, you were having a conversation with them, and I told you that I thought 6.
Mm-hmm.
You said 5, but there's a reason why you said 5, and then there's a reason why you extended it. Give me that first before I tell you some of my further thoughts.
So for those who missed it yesterday, I said Thunder in 5 is my gut, but I think we deserve 6. I think this could be a really high-level basketball series. And texting with those two gentlemen, I said, 5 is most likely, but 1 Thunder stinker and 1 Pacers miracle gets the series to 6. And we've had a Thunder stinker and a Pacers miracle in every series so far. So
the question is,
was that the Thunder stinker or was that the Pacers miracle? That's the question.
That's the question. That's the riddle me this, Batman. That's the big question mark in the riddle.
Mm-hmm.
Which one was it, or even if it was?
Right.
That's what we're going to see. Now, there's a lot of things to consider when you're looking at what's next on the growth sport. Now, here's the thing. Denver does not have a large trough of big shot makers on a consistent basis outside of Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
Jamal capable.
Playoff Jamal. Mm-hmm.
He can show. But here's the thing. They're limited.
Mm-hmm.
You know you just ran the numbers on Halliburton and that crew. We've seen what Nesmith could do.
Mm-hmm.
Miles Turner, I said they need if he shows up and he can stretch them and do some things, that could be some trouble. I also said, and we both said collectively, you gave the numbers on the 3. I said because of their gap defense, if they thrive on what time's your show?
6 p.m.
And what's the name of your show?
The Corner 3.
That part. If they thrive in the threes in the corner, it's going to be trouble.
Mm-hmm.
They're the best at it. They're going to continue to see it. What Minnesota and what Denver didn't do, if they continue to do it, we could be in trouble. We're not playing in Houston, but Houston, we'd have a problem.
Hey.
Just like that. There you go.
Let's hit up our text line here. Cubsker. He says OKC, KFC, UFC, Thunder in 5. But no, that's backwards. That's backwards. It would be OKC, KFC, UFC, Pacers in 5. If you're saying Thunder in 5,
I'm not.
It's Indiana Pacers, Murray State Racers, Dental Spacers, Thunder in 5.
I love it, Austin.
You like
I
that?
absolutely love that one. That's good. We need to clip that too. We sending multiple clips out this week because that's a good one too. I like that. We need to definitely put that out there and tag ESPN and all that so we can get Austin on ESPN. Good stuff, man.
Texas Tech or Texas? WCWS tonight, Stricky. It's tied at 1.
I'm going Texas. Oh, who's pitching?
Who do you think's pitching?
I'm going Texas Tech.
Oh, you're going with the ace? Najari Kennedy?
I'm rolling with
Okay.
Not Canada, but the Kennedy.
Manchurian Kennedy.
Yeah.
Something like that. Can you believe this would be Texas's first WCWS in school
It's
history?
wild. No, that's wild. You would think that a program down there with all that moolah, and who wouldn't want to play there in Austin, you would think, right?
When you're playing Oklahoma every year playing against the best?
Yeah. I mean, it's a surprise.
I'm with you. This would be a fascinating question. I
Maybe they don't
have
spend the
answer
paper,
to.
though. Maybe they don't want to spend the paper on the program, too. I mean,
maybe
they focus on the football. You never know.
We know they do that. Even the men's basketball, the baseball as well. But Texas is, I think, in pretty good position to win the Directors' Cup. I don't have any numbers on this, but I would be really curious to dive into, like, Texas-Oklahoma. We know that's a big rivalry. I don't know if it's bigger than Texas and Texas A&M or not, but how crazy would it be to be that far overshadowed by your rival in a sport? For
How does it
Oklahoma
feel?
to be that dynasty, and Texas to be, I assume, a pretty solid softball program,
Yeah.
but be that far behind your rival? That can't feel good, can it?
It doesn't feel great.
I don't know, man.
You at least like to see a trampoline bounce back. You jump on the trampoline, you bounce back, you land on your backside, you bounce back. Just you would like to see that, but if you don't, hey, unfortunate.
We got a prediction from John in Cortland, Pacers in 6.
Whoa, John Cortland stepping out there on a limb.
I don't hate it.
I roll with the Pacers. Listen, Pacers was a good organization for me. I just think that I like Zeke, and I think Zeke is as a HOF, a Hall of Famer, one of the best to do it at the position. I just didn't think he was a great coach.
And
sometimes it's like that.
I agree. And we see this coming across now, Stricky. So Gary Wolfel, who's an NBA writer, reports the Knicks are preparing to make a tsunami-type offer to acquire Giannis.
I need to know the background on that. How can they get it done? I actually think they can. One, we know Brunson's not going. Well, wait a minute.
Wait.
I don't know.
Hold up.
With Tibbs leaving, you saw kind of the confrontation between DiVincenzo and how he put Rick. And really, DiVincenzo was just basically trying to say, let your dad coach. He was trying to basically say, Rick, you the guy. Where Rick came in because Tim and Tibbs are tight. Listen, when I was with the Knicks, Rick was there too. So Rick was on the team with us, and him and Tibbs became really good. Rick was really good at that, like Damon Jones was. You remember Damon Jones?
Okay, I know the name. Yeah.
Damon Jones with Cleveland. He's funny. He's a good locker room guy. He's fun to be around. He can step out there if you need him to. He's not really, a guy. Damon was good at positioning himself in the eyes of everybody to make himself be valuable. That's how he was able to stay with LeBron, because LeBron liked being around him. And Rick and Tibbs was an assistant. Rick was, he was one of, like me, bench guy. And man, me and Rick played in a lot of plays. We played in the CBA together. We was in Dallas together. We was in New York together.
Hey, get him on the show.
Me and Rick, we've been Rick didn't disappear. I don't know where. I might have I don't know how to track him down these days. But nonetheless, we'll see. I want to know the background on them numbers. Like, how they gonna put that together? Like, what would that look like? Ooh, excuse me.
You would guess Cat would be involved.
Facts.
With the big salary. Cat or Bridges, I would guess.
They can't take multiple salaries that high.
Right.
They can, but yeah, they can with Giannis. They're going to have to with Giannis, but really they can only do maybe 2. They're going to have to take back equal. So it's going to have to be 2 for 2. But Milwaukee needs multiples.
And picks.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I just can't imagine Milwaukee trading him to New York. Not in the same conference like that.
Unless it's Dallas Laker type deal, just on the East Coast.
It's still crazy that we have to bring that up that happened. I can't even. Stricky, tease people a little bit. What's coming up on Freestyle Friday?
On Freestyle Friday, we're going to talk a little bit about, obviously, the quarterbacks. What quarterbacks are out there in the upcoming year. Because listening to Jay talked about there being a quarterback drought. It's not really anybody that's going to move the needle out there. So we're going to talk about that. We'll also talk a little bit about Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers and who are the winners and the losers. We'll touch on that a little bit as well. And somebody had to go pee-pee.
Yeah. Don't we all? Nature calls sometimes.
We'll talk about that as well.
That'll be Freestyle Friday, leading off hour 2 on a Friday.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grotto Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grotto offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grotto Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center.
Now's the time to lock in the best deal of the year on a new John Deere sprayer during Landmark Implement's Sprayer Early Order Program. Leverage the industry's latest technology with See and Spray. Target weeds with precision and cut herbicide use. Utilize Exact Apply to save in chemical usage and prevent over-application. Don't forget, secure early order savings and get the sprayer that maximizes every pass. Visit your Landmark location for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Need service on your home air conditioner? No matter what brand you have, just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
The end of the school year is drawing near, which means graduation parties are coming soon. Are you prepared for hosting? Führer's Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate graduations and the close to a great school year. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you consider throwing a party without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's Cheese Spread. No graduation party is complete without it.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer, Jay Foreman. Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Let's get after it. Hour 2 of On the Block. Austin and Strick with you here for the next hour or so. 402-464-5685. We're going freestyle here. What's not free, but is worth the style. The meat from the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. 3 Lincoln locations, 1 up in Omaha. Check them out, themercadobutcher.com. All right, Stricky, take us to the promised land. Where are we going, my guy?
Well, let's start off with, they're not tapes, so it isn't pee-pee tapes or anything like that. But what we've got going on here is there's an amateur golfer that just happens to be out there, and I've always found this interesting because I don't know how often this happens. I play golf, so I know that there are places along the golf course at different times that you could maybe stop over and get a break. On the professional level, that's a little bit different. They drink a lot of water. They try to stay hydrated, whatever. They're drinking electrolytes and stuff like that. It's a rare thing, but I'm sure it happens. The problem is you got galleries now. See, when I go play, I could just step off to the side, go off into a tree somewhere, into a corner, and do my thizzle as long as there's no houses out there or anything like that. But for them, what happens? Amateur golfer happens to have to go pee-pee on Amen Corner.
One of the most hallowed spots in all of professional golf.
You have to go pee-pee. And so what ends up happening, he had to do his thizzle. He had to go do his thing. So, what's the rules on that? We know that in tennis, I think there's a rule. I think there were people exploiting the rule. I think you used to have like a 3-minute limit or something, or you might get a 3-minute limit. And then, but people were actually going to break everybody's going to find out a way to how to break, just kind of break the flow of the game. Mm-hmm. It's reason why we have the clock in baseball now, because they were, just break it up and so forth and so on. We've had the infamous Paul Pierce, where people didn't know if it was a knee or they had to go boo-boo or something, Shaq had to run off the set of NBA.
Didn't Lamar Jackson have that at one point?
Did he?
I think so.
I know Shaq had to run off. Shaq was in the middle of a live broadcast there on Inside NBA and had to break camp and head to the back stage area to take care of business. So we do know it's happened, but it's an unfortunate thing. You had to, literally, you got water and you had to go water.
Reading the article that you sent, the guy says, I completely forgot that we had those restrooms to the left of the 13th tee box. I'm like, I really need to pee. I didn't really know where to go. I'm sure it's his first time playing Augusta. You don't keep that in mind. I'm sure his caddy is relatively new to that as well, so maybe he doesn't know. I don't know who he's playing with, if they would have any experience. Now, you probably shouldn't spring a leak on Amen's Corner, though. Like, that's like sacred ground. It's one thing if you're gonna, drive by, Columbia, Missouri and take a leak on their welcome to campus sign or something.
Like, do you get a time frame? Like, because I know, isn't there like a limit on the time in golf in which you need to address the ball?
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm no golfer like that, but man, what do you think would be the hardest sport to pull that off on?
Football.
You think?
Yeah, because I've played football. So one of the things that I always knew, yes, you got to stay hydrated. Yes, you're going to be drinking Gatorade. Yes, you're going to do all those things. But right before the game, one thing I would always make sure I do, I don't care if I felt it, didn't feel it, bladder was heavy, it was light. I'm trying to unload whatever's there so that way I can make it through until it's time to come back at halftime.
And see, I'm saying for football, you just pop up the injury tent.
Nah, my boy.
Is it more complicated
It's
than that?
harder than, because you've got, so it depends on what type of pads you have too. So, you have pads. Sometimes you have a girdle with pads in them. Sometimes you just, some people, like, I think, pause, Eric, we're going early on that. Pause. I think Zeke used to didn't wear nothing. And I think at one point he ended up getting dragged, like, and it ended up kind of exposing backside boogie.
Oh my.
So yeah, so some people wear jocks, some, it just depends. But
I played with a dude who played in boxers basketball.
I mean, some people do that. They like to roam free. I need a little bit of I don't want to end up like Draymond Green and Steven Adams.
No,
so I try
sir.
to keep him tight.
No, sir.
Yeah.
Did you wear a cup in baseball?
No. Being in the outfield is probably rare. I mean, some of the fields we played on out in the doggone New York Penn League, though. I mean, they had gopher holes and stuff. You might catch a little bounce wrong or something, but for the most part, no. I hated sliding because I was a head first slider, and some people took them out and put them back in, but I didn't want that smoke.
No, I'm with you. Sam Crawford Field at Wahoo's, where I played my home games in high school for the most part. I mean, you could drive down any street in Lincoln and you'd find fewer potholes. And I'm not saying the streets in Lincoln are great. There were a few times I came dangerously close, Stricky, in that outfield. My youngest brother had to barehand one. It took a left hop on it. Yeah.
Wow.
But you know what? We all made it. All right, what's next?
Yeah, so let's moving on. We're going to talk a little bit now about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers obviously is going to be the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We've talked about him a little bit, but let's dig a little bit deeper and go into some of the winners and the losers in everything Aaron Rodgers in that move to become the next quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. For the winners, let's talk about the winners first. For the winners, you've got to definitely look at a winner, Austin. One of the winners, I think, is going to be the schedule. We talked about it. You brought it up yesterday. We talked about it was a revenge tour, and that's going to bring major ratings when you're talking about the way that the NFL scheduled these games, and it's got to be favorable not only to the Steelers, to Aaron Rodgers, but also to the league.
I mean, going to the Jets for his first game, getting to play the Packers, and a game against the Bears. Oh yeah, I mean the headlines for at least 3 weeks are going to be great. You get Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow. Man, yeah, I think that worked out pretty well for the NFL schedule makers.
Speaking on that, you're talking about. Let's talk about the rivalries. The rivalries that are going to be on par now, as you said, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and whoever the Cleveland quarterback is, the AFC North, the eyes are going to be on them like they have been in the past for the NFC North.
Yeah.
AFC North is now the big baby.
Let's see. Let me pull up the Steelers schedule. So the first time that the Steelers play the Browns will be game 5 for them. Who is Cleveland's starting quarterback by the time they travel to Pittsburgh?
Game 5?
Game 5.
I still think it's probably Flacco.
Is he still the starter in game 16 on December 28th?
I don't think so by then.
You putting your money on Shedeur by game 16?
What's going to be the key? If Flacco's rolling, he's the quarterback. If there's some kind of teetering on the teeter-totter, back and forth, not really getting over, you're kind of struggling in the division, I think they'll give a shot to one of the young bucks.
Cubsker on our text line says, I'm still frustrated about Rodgers. Cubsker is our resident Steelers fan, non-Aaron Davis division. Hopefully he can make it longer than the run out of the tunnel with the flag. Besides, I still despise him for costing Pittsburgh back-to-back Super Bowls. I just don't know about the on-field fit. Stricky, I don't know if Arthur Smith is a winner or a loser in this. I don't know if DK Metcalf is a winner or a loser here. I don't know if
you know if TJ Watt is?
Jalen Watson, TJ Watt. I don't know. I don't know, because on the one hand, you get an all-time great like Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's not a Mount Rushmore guy, but he's a top 15 quarterback of all time, pretty comfortably, I would say. Maybe top 10, depending on how you want to look at it. To get to play with one of those guys, regardless of where they are in their career, to pick his brain about football, just to be around him would probably be a darn cool experience. But just how many headaches will he bring into the building? Will he solve more headaches than he causes? I just don't know about that for Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's going to be the key. We don't know, but you hope that you have a fully healthy Aaron Rodgers, not just from the injury, but from the mental part of it. So you're hoping that, as Jay spoke about yesterday, that he looks at that schedule as a revenge tour, and that he puts on his Pokemon hat. He puts on his Wade Wilson, I think it is, his whatchamacallit mask. His Deadpool mask. You hope he brings out his Wolverine fist. You just hope that Superman that we know Aaron Rodgers could be possibly revives himself, and he looks at that from a good organizational standpoint that the Steelers are, and he looks at it from that standpoint that, let me arrive again. And he shows up for Steelers Nation in the terrible towels and the whole nine. You hope that's what happens.
Does Mike Tomlin have to control Aaron Rodgers? Does he have to work with Aaron Rodgers?
I think it's best. I think it's best to work with Aaron. I think at this point in his career, I think it's best to work with him, because here's the thing: Aaron Rodgers is going to be your best quarterback that you've had since Ben Roethlisberger's left.
Oh, easy. Yeah.
Because, Wilson it was on the downslope slide. Wilson is really a system guy. Fields hadn't really come into his own. Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback you have had in what, going on now, a decade?
Darn near,
right? So I think you work with him. I think if you're the offensive coordinator, you're looking at this as an opportunity to expand your playbook, be creative in some instances, find ways to get these crazy mismatches for DK Metcalf. Hopefully DK Metcalf becomes like a prime what's my guy? San Francisco back in his prime. Not Jerry, Terrell Owens.
Oh, sure.
Becomes a Patriots revamped Randy Moss. You know what I mean? When they left where they were, where their mainstay was, and they go somewhere else, and they just end up turning it out. You know what I mean? I'm hoping that, you hope that you're able to get that.
Insightful dude on our text line says Rodgers is the most overhyped, overrated quarterback of all time. How many Super Bowls has he won?
I mean, look, I'm not talking about, I'm saying, listen to what I said. I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers is the greatest of all time, the GOAT, top 5. None of that I mentioned. I hear what you're saying, but I'm saying to you, though, is he's the best quarterback that they've had in over a decade. Point blank, period. Tell me I'm wrong. Like some type of that type of comment would come and say that somebody like Elway was not great, or you know what I'm saying? Like
Aaron Rodgers has more Super Bowls than Dan Marino,
right?
Just for an offhand example.
So I mean, to say he's not a good quarterback, I mean he's a good quarterback. Now, yeah, you may say he's overrated for whatever that your mind says on that. Okay, I can take that, but no one here saying that we're looking at him like the super savior. I'm just saying he's the best quarterback that they've had in almost a decade, period.
Oh, absolutely. Aaron Rodgers is certainly, talked about more than I think he should be if we were just going off of status on the field right now.
Can I ask you a question?
1 second. He's clearly diminished, and I think we can all get on board with that. But the man, according to NFL approximate value, is the 6th most valuable player of all time. The 5 players ahead of him, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, Jerry Rice. Aaron Rodgers was on track to be, a top 5, top 6 quarterback in NFL history early in his career. It's to his credit and his detriment that he's played this long.
Yeah.
He didn't hang it up when he was at the top of his game. I mean, shoot, the man won MVP in
3 times,
2021,
right?
4 times. 4-time MVP, 4-time, NFL, I think, first team All-Pro player.
Yeah, that's blasphemy to say that.
The dude is really good. The dude has had a storied career, and I can understand if you're tired of talking about him. But right now, he has the all-time career record for lowest interception percentage Highest air yards per attempt, highest career quarterback rating, and he's also taken the most career sacks in NFL history, just as a side note. But anyways, your question.
Questions for you and for whoever the texter was. 2 options. And then you don't even have to be a Steelers fan. Are you choosing Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins?
Well, I think I like Kirk Cousins, the player right now, slightly more. But having to trade for him, I think it's probably simpler to get Rodgers. I think for the opportunity cost as well, that's borderline. There's so many similarities there. I mean, I don't have their exact numbers from last year pulled up, and I wouldn't just look at their surface numbers. But if you're talking pure performance on the field, I think I lean Kirk Cousins. If you're talking to me about everything else that goes on in terms of opportunity cost and simplicity, probably Rodgers.
Let's go further.
Okay.
Who you trust in the playoffs? Because if you're there you go.
Yeah.
Because that's what the Steelers is looking for. So that's why I say what I say. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, it may get you 12 wins in the season. But who do you trust in a playoff? I actually would trust Rodgers more so. That's just me.
Eric says I'd take Cousins all day. Cubsker says Cousins all day. John and Cortland, Rodgers created his own problems. Would you like him in your locker room? I just don't know why Mike Tomlin keeps doing this to himself with all the headache guys. You know, Mike Tomlin deserves better, but also kind of seems like he has a type at this point, right? There's no way this decision is made without
Pickens,
Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, Pickens. Your point. At some point, Tomlin's got a type. We like to think of him as the coach that brings a lot of these egos in check. But wouldn't you at some point get sick and tired of having to deal with problems like that and just want a calm, smooth locker room?
So in essence, what you're saying, he's the on-field version of Jerry Jones.
I will never go that far. Mike Tomlin deserves more respect than to be called the on-field Jerry Jones. That is really funny that you would say that, but I will not go that far and put that level of disrespect on Mike Tomlin.
I actually like him, man. I hope it works out. I really do. Again, it's a stopgap. And then let's take it even further real quick since we're there. Since we're there, we're not going to even talk about the losers. We've already talked about Kirk Cousins being potentially one of those. But, in this whole thing, because, he wants to go somewhere where, he could start or have an opportunity to, and that's why I think he's evading OTAs. But anyway, let's talk about the next phase of the quarterback rooms of national quarterbacks, 2026 quarterbacks. Your guy is probably at the top of that list. How do you feel about Drew Aller to start, to finish, and does Penn State finally break through with Drew Aller as a leading quarterback this year?
I will not pick Penn State to break through until I see it. I know better. I like Penn State and what they've built. They have been very consistent in who they are, but you will not get me to pick them to win anything of consequence until after the fact, and they've already done it. I like Drew Aller. He's also got to prove he's more than Christian Hackenberg 2.0 right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Hackenberg was taken by, I think that it was the Jets in the middle of the first round in his draft year. Hackenberg had good college stats. Obviously, it didn't work out for him in the pros. I like Drew Aller. I like Cade Klubnik. Not the biggest Carson Beck guy for guys at the top of this draft. And then from there, it's a whole bunch of who knows who's going to play themselves into position. We can come up with some names from the article that you sent. But if we're just looking at those top three guys, Aller, Beck, and Klubnik, I think I take Klubnik first.
Really?
I think Cade Klubnik's my guy. A little bit more dual threat, a little more out of pocket. I feel like he has a bit better sense for the moment. I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Aller probably looks the part a little bit more. Again, he just looks like a quarterback. Yeah. But I think of those three guys, I think I take Klubnik right now.
So then as you look then on the next tier before we go to break, thoughts on Sam Levitt, John Mateer. I just think Oklahoma is Oklahoma is very capable of finding themselves. I'm trying to think who is in a good equivalent of when they make the shift of falling into the proverbial wasteland of off just, you know what I'm saying? Just falling into the wasteland, into the desert.
Yeah.
Into the desert of the real, as Morpheus would say. Mateer, you got
said
Levitt, or does Arch Manning come out the woodwork and show up and show out?
I get some Kyler Murray vibes from John Mateer. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I mean, he's 6'1", 224, dual threat type of guy. I don't think he has quite the arm of Kyler Murray, or the baseball arm on top as well, but certainly not a bad arm for Mateer. Levitt, I need to see more. I don't want to be a hater. What he did for Arizona State last year was impressive, but I still don't fully believe in Sam Levitt. And then Arch Manning is going to be fascinating, Stricky. The fact that he's draft eligible as what would be, a freshman redshirt, or redshirt freshman, and then he's redshirt sophomore right now. You like to believe in the pedigree, in the history. Texas lost a lot. I think Arch Manning's going to fall in that typical Texas camp, kind of like Quinn Ewers, of being given too much credit for their success and too much credit for their failures. I don't think that he's Teflon Don, where the failures that Texas has are going to bounce off him. I think they're going to stick a lot to him. And dare I say, Arch might be that NIL guy. Maybe he comes back for 27, depending on what that class looks like. Because if we scroll through some of the rest of these names, Fernando Mendoza from Indiana, Garrett Nussmeier from LSU, Lenora Sellers from South Carolina. You could see 2 or 3 of those guys playing their way into that first round conversation. I'm not saying Arch can't or won't, but if Arch's numbers are in line with those guys, I think he'll get a lot more hype than he probably deserves. And I wouldn't hate seeing him back in college football in 2027 to put up better numbers.
Basically, what you said as we get ready to go to the break, this is the last thing I'm going to throw out. 402-464-5685 as well. If you want to interject yourself into the discussion, we'll try to get to those maybe in the last segment. But look, do you see this happening more now? More in football and basketball, the Carson Beck 6, 7. Are we going to find an 8-year player because the NIL is just so freaking crazy?
We better not.
He's 6 year.
I know.
It seems like he's been around forever.
Injury. Yeah, redshirt injury and COVID year. So as long as we don't have another global pandemic, I hope that we stop at 5.
Yeah.
I really do. I've been on this crusade a couple times on the Corner 3 again. Shout out tonight, coming up in about an hour and a half. I don't think it's unfair to say it's time to move on to some of these older guys who haven't fulfilled their potential, who are just kind of hanging around. Because some people would say, well, why are you taking opportunities away from these players if they have the potential to use it? Well, why do they get the eligibility and not freshmen? It's a zero-sum game. When someone gets a spot, someone else misses out on a spot. We're not conjuring roster spots out of thin air. And so I'm sorry that your dream ended. I'm sorry you got hurt, but move on. It's time. But I understand why coaches want the older prospect. When they think they can trust more, they might learn the system a little quicker. I get why coaches would want that.
Yeah.
Which is where I hope someone steps in and says, hey, let's not forget about, the high school ranks ascending up. They deserve a fair shot too.
That seems what's going on, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Love it. Great stuff. Freestyle Friday. That's what it is. Sometimes we'll pop in and give you a little bit of that. Sometimes we'll pop in and we'll give you a little bit of conversation. We'll bring some people in, let them talk about their businesses and what they're doing. We'll give you a little bit of everything on a Friday. Thank you for staying tuned. We'll be right back. We'll come back on the other side. Second segment of the second hour on the block right after this.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Need service on your home air conditioner? No matter what brand you have, just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
The Lincoln Light Guy salutes the men and women of our military and veterans for the sacrifices they've made. Keep them in your thoughts, prayers, and letters from home until these trying times are over. Our troops are fighting hard around the clock to defend our great country and keep freedom alive worldwide. For this, we salute them and may God bless America. This from Lincoln Light Guy. Locally owned and operated, installing and servicing permanent, holiday, and special occasion lighting for your home or business.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at copplecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Make your move fun and easy with the help of Movers and Shakers. Movers and Shakers is homegrown, female-led, and ready to help make your transition to a new space as seamless as possible. They excel at residential and commercial moving jobs, as well as offer home cleanouts and junk removal services. Moving into a new place is stressful enough, so let Movers and Shakers ease the transition. Give them a call today at 712-899-6265 or book your move online at www.moversandShakersNE.com today.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Welcome to it on the block. Austin Orman and Eric Strickland with you here. Going to need some audience participation and involvement in this one. I think it's a really fun question. 402-464-5685. If there was one college football player you wish you could have watched in person, who would it be? 402-464-5685 with your answer to that question. This segment of the show brought to you by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. They're based out of Hallam, Nebraska, and they offer a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while keeping their prices affordable. Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today for more information. You can do so at 402-430-3852 or by visiting them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. All right, you get a chance to sit down and watch one college football player in college football history. Who is it that you're going to watch? We'll wait for some of your responses to pour in here. Let's go to our YouTube stream, though, and answer this from Bada Bing. Are there any answers behind Nebraska baseball having double-digit transfer portal enrollees? No, nothing concrete, and I don't think there's ever one explanation, especially in this day and age of college athletics. I think each guy's story is different. What each player is looking to accomplish is going to be different, so I don't want to boil it down and generalize. I think we just got news on the Caden Brumbaugh front. He's committed to Oklahoma. I mean, that's just some real trader stuff right there to come from Oklahoma State to Nebraska and then transfer back home to Oklahoma. I mean, that's double trader. I think all the rest of the guys, if you look at it, they'll all have their own reasons. I don't know why Riley Silva or Robbie Bolin transferred, for example. I think losing both those guys is painful. You could probably stomach losing one, but losing them both will hurt. And then it's a lot of guys from that point on that just didn't see the field a whole bunch. So no, I don't think that there is an answer to get to or to give to you. It's just kind of the way of the world. And if there is maybe a bigger problem, we'll hear about it over the course of the summer and into the fall as Nebraska looks to rebuild its roster, really is what the Huskers are facing. Stricky, the question was, there was one college football player you could go back in time and watch that you never got to see. A college football player. You can watch one guy. You get a ticket to go watch him. Is there a college football player that comes to mind for you that you'd go back and watch?
Bo Jackson.
You never saw Bo in person?
Just on TV. Just on TV. Yep.
Makes sense. All right. Fricky in Lincoln says Gale Sayers. I like that one. John in Cortland says Jim Brown and Ernie Davis. 5046 says DeMornay Pearsonell. Lucky enough to watch him in person a couple times myself. But we bring this up because at Memorial Stadium right now, Cam Newton is coaching his 7-on-7 team.
Yeah.
Cam Newton is in Lincoln doing his coaching thing. And when we look at the 2010s era, Stricky, Cam Newton has got to be at the top of the list, I think, for a bunch of people. I think Cam Newton's in that conversation. I think seeing what Derrick Henry could do in person would be pretty cool. Watching that 20, whatever it was, LSU team, man, to see them in that game against Alabama, I think would have been absolutely insane.
Yeah.
This might be a little off the wall, but for me, it would have been some of those like late 2000s West Virginia teams. You look at like Steve Slayton.
Okay.
And Tavon Austin with Pat White.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was my era of college football, man.
What's his name? Major Harris?
I
think Major Harris, he was like a...
Major Applewhite is the name.
No. But Applewhite was, he wasn't at West Virginia.
He was a coach.
Major Harris. Where did he play? I think it was there. He was like he was a wishbone quarterback.
Oh yeah. Yeah, West Virginia. How about that?
See?
Let's see. Gus Mohawk says, I've seen two of the greatest college football players ever in Sue and RG3. So I would like to see Bo Jackson. Okay, there's a Bo Jackson vote. RG3 is an interesting one because college RG3 was electrifying. The Colts fan in me would like to go back and watch Andrew Luck at Stanford, but they played that boring Michigan style under Harbaugh. So I don't think Andrew Luck would have been worth buying a ticket to go see necessarily. Let's see. John in Cortland, Bo played in Memorial Stadium with Auburn.
Who?
Bo Jackson. Came to Lincoln, apparently.
They played here?
That's what John in Cortland's saying.
Oh, wow. That would have been dope.
Barry Sanders? You on the Barry train?
Oh, yeah. I mean, but I watched him. I seen him, up close and personal. Yeah. So Barry, yeah, he was phenomenal. Yeah. I really enjoyed watching Barry just as a whole. I thought he was just so fun, man.
Mm-hmm.
He was just so much fun to watch, no doubt.
Ryan P says Peyton Manning or John Elway. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Mississippi Mud Dog, Vince Young in person. Man, Vince putting some of those Texas teams on his shoulders.
He did.
Obviously rooted against him. Did not like him. But is it fair?
He was a great football. He was a great. Mechanically, he just wasn't the best of quarterbacks. But you know, he was just one of those quarterbacks that could win. And I think he got a little bit ahead of himself in the next level. But he was a good college quarterback.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
Tremendous college quarterback.
Was Vince Young Cam Newton before Cam Newton?
Good call.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Would you rather watch Vince Young or Reggie Bush in person?
Oh, Reggie Bush was he was tremendous as well.
You know what I'm saying?
Time. Reggie Bush was next level for his time. You know, you could appreciate you know, the things that Reggie Bush did on and I'm just glad that he was able to get his Heisman back. You know, especially now with the era that we're in. So it's good to see that. Definitely.
Let's see. Some more text to get to here. Jason says, I'll say the Galloping Ghost, Red Grange, might be the best college football player of all time. Certainly in the conversation there. Jarvis Redwine from Fricky and Lincoln. Vern says, I watched Ricky Williams run all over us in 98.
Ricky Williams was a mother.
That's a name people gloss over.
Yeah. Yeah, Ricky was a monster for sure. Yeah, he was ahead of his time. I think and who else?
What about Cadillac Williams?
Auburn. Yeah, I actually got to see him too. They had a good combo running back crew down there.
Okay, did you know Ricky Williams' name?
Warwick Dunn was tough too. Warwick Dunn was tough.
he Florida State?
Florida State.
Yeah.
He was tough.
Yeah.
He was one of those ones that really was able to do it out of the backfield too. So he was like a dual threat, both in the pass game and in the run game. Yeah, he was tough.
What if I told you Ricky Williams' name wasn't really Ricky Williams?
No.
Neither one of his names. His first name is Eric, Errick. His last name is Marone, Miron. But he goes by Ricky Williams.
What was he smoking on?
I don't know if I want to know.
Huh.
Let's see. Mike says Johnny Rodgers, if you never saw him, best player to play in college football.
Johnny was, he got that name for a reason, the Jet.
The Jet.
Yeah.
We have a vote for Adrian Peterson in college. Now, if I'm going to pick an Oklahoma guy to watch in college,
Adrian was a beast.
Adrian's up there. Dare I say college Baker Mayfield? Dude, that dude was putting on a show in college.
Baker Mayfield?
Baker.
Did you like Baker more than Menzel?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Even prime Manziel. I'm still buying a ticket to see Baker first. Maybe that makes me crazy. Let's see here. Couch says, what about LaDainian Tomlinson?
Oh, yeah. LaDainian was a monster at TCU. I was in Dallas when LaDainian was doing it. Yeah.
Was he moving the needle even in
him.
Dallas?
We would be hearing about him, and just all the stuff he was doing. So, yeah. Oh, yeah.
LT was my guy on Madden 2007 all day.
Who's that?
LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah.
That was my guy, my running back, 2007 college football or Madden. Fricky also says Marshall Faulk is another good one.
Oh, man. Yeah, San Diego State.
But see, I'd almost rather go back and watch Eric Dickerson. If you give me a ticket to watch Marshall Faulk or Eric Dickerson.
And what was the
Pony
other one?
Express.
Him and Craig?
Yeah, Craig James.
Wow. Yeah, that would have been something. That would have been something. And just think about what that conference was, the Southwest Conference. They literally
Texas, Arkansas.
They literally ran through that thing. Yeah. Good stuff.
Hey, I'm trying to think. If there's a Husker team I could go back and watch, though, because someone here says the entire 83 Huskers team, right, scoring explosion. That makes a lot of sense. Rozier's got to be high on the list. Him and Turner Gill, and Irving Fryer. I mean, come on, hard to turn that down. But I also didn't get to watch Nebraska football in the 90s.
Really?
Well, I was born in 98.
Oh, well, God, yeah, you missed.
I missed it all.
You missed the glory year. Those are some. Oof. I mean, getting to see the Sandman and shoot, even guys like I used to really like watching Turner Gill
Mm-hmm.
and man, it was just so many great guys, man. I love the defense, Mike Kroll, and those guys that would come off that edge, man. It was like linebackers were phenomenal, especially on the edge.
Except for that Jay Foreman guy. Who knows why they let him on the field?
Yeah, Jay Foreman got in there.
You have to pay me to watch him.
Jay Foreman got in there and got it cracking. They had a lot of linebackers then too, Austin. They really did. They could rotate them and not miss a beat. That was the beauty about Nebraska, is like they literally could. It didn't matter who was in there. Whoever you put in there, it was just like having the first guy on there. And so it was when they left, it was next guy up, and then they would dominate, and then the next crew. It was just like a cycle of great guys.
Mississippi Mud Dog Strick, did you ever get to watch Brian Bosworth play against Nebraska?
I did.
What'd you think of the Boz?
Boz had the big neck joint, the mullet.
Mm-hmm.
He was brash. Yeah, those are some fun times. I mean, watching those guys run that option against each other, it was special.
Woo.
It was they were going downhill. They was getting after each other. Both teams blocked and hit, and yeah, it was fun. It was fun to watch.
And you came in at a good time when Nebraska
I
started really
did.
dominating that series.
Yeah, I really did. I got there at the right time. I mean, even what Colorado did is they expanded the version of, Darian Hagan was he was a beast.
Yeah.
But he could throw. So they had like a combination of, with Westbrook and what's the 402-464-5685, the one that ended up going to jail. He was with the Carolina Panthers. But then there was that sad story between him and the girlfriend that I think he had pregnant.
Ray Caruth?
Ray Caruth. He was there. Hey, listen, they get it done on both sides. They would run the option and they would throw it too. So like they were tough. Colorado just gave you a different version of it, but those were always fun. I actually used to think Colorado was cool because I thought they had the coolest uniform.
The black and the gold.
The black and the gold with those silky pants. Oh man, I thought that was like the dopest thing. I almost thought
Cordell
about going
Stewart?
there just for that.
Yeah,
Just for the uniforms. I just wanted to be in the uniform. But then I would see their basketball team. I'd be like,
stinky poo poo.
I give them 2 thumbs down.
Good
Yeah,
answer.
the Vandiver though, he was a big body, beast, and still real cool with Donnie Boyce, because Donnie Boyce and Michael Finley they went to high school together, so they're really good friends. And so Mike and Donnie would come down. We would always talk about Colorado, Nebraska. Yeah, so those guys were they had talent. They just wouldn't have as much of it that we like had or somebody like that. But they definitely would get their one. Obviously, Chauncey Billups ended up going there,
Right.
but he would be one of the only
You
ones.
lock him up.
Yeah, of course.
Chauncey didn't want that smoke.
He was a
He
young
knew it
buck.
coming in.
He was a young buck. I'm telling you, the only one I could not punk was Paul Pierce. He was the only one. He was a freshman. He was the only one I couldn't punk.
That Compton cool.
Yeah. Well, Inglewood. He was from
Inglewood, sorry, yeah, Inglewood.
Yeah, but he's the only one. I tried too. Boy, I tried. I just couldn't get him.
You were gonna punk him, but Al Harrington waved you off.
Well,
You were gonna.
I tried.
You were gonna.
I know Paul, so that was why I was like, let me get it. Let me get it. He's like, he wanted it.
So he got that instead. Let's take our final break of the show. Wrap up On the Block in a sec.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town. Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at copplecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G1877747, and G1965999.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Play ball! Pitch the perfect idea for a family outing or date night with tickets to the next Salt Dogs game. Nothing says summer fun like an action-packed evening at Haymarket Park. Come root for the home team with a hot dog and a cold drink. Plus, visit saltdogs.com to learn about special events and promotions, including group discounts. Don't miss out on the thrill and excitement of a Salt Dogs win. Visit saltdogs.com to reserve your tickets today.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Every home is different. Every family is different. So when it's time for a new heating and cooling system, why not get what fits you best? Get the perfect fit with Bryant. Maybe you need higher efficiency, better humidity control, increased warranty, or all the bells and whistles. Bryant provides options in warranty, features, comfort, and efficiency while maximizing savings. Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing, 467-1111, or visit BryantLincoln.com. Bryant, whatever it takes.
The Lincoln Light Guy salutes the men and women of our military and veterans for the sacrifices they've made. Keep them in your thoughts, prayers, and letters from home until these trying times are over. Our troops are fighting hard around the clock to defend our great country and keep freedom alive worldwide. For this, we salute them and may God bless America. This from Lincoln Light Guy. Locally owned and operated, installing and servicing permanent, holiday, and special occasion lighting for your home or business.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Back one final time here during On the Block. Austin Orman, Eric Strickland with you. We'll have Jay Foreman on the phone for Old School, it sounds like. Big thanks to Love Volleyball Omaha for sponsoring our final segment of the show. Get your season tickets for the first time or renew them today, lovboma.com. We had a question on this on the YouTube stream, all the transfers out of Nebraska baseball. It is official. Caden Brumbaugh finds a new home. It's Oklahoma. Stricky, the levels to this onion of traitor are multiple. Caden Brumbaugh from the state of Oklahoma. His brother's like the number 3 prep shortstop prospect in the country right now. Caden Brumbaugh commits to Oklahoma State, plays a couple years there. then comes to Nebraska. Okay, cool. No big deal. It's a transfer portal. People move. Well, less than 48 hours after entering the transfer portal, Caden Brumbaugh's heading back home, but he's going to Oklahoma. So he betrays the Pokes. They gave him his first chance. He betrays Nebraska by going to, hated, bitter rival Oklahoma, who just beat Nebraska twice in regionals. And let's reiterate this part again. Within 48 hours of entering the transfer portal. Either that developed real quick, or I'm raising a major eyebrow to that one.
It's a major bruh.
Bruh.
That's all you really can say on that, bruh. I was talking a little bit earlier with Josh Jones, and we talked about just the unique difference of the times. And there really isn't. I think this is what makes it difficult for fans to fall in love with players again, or with people that, because there's no commitment. There's no commitment to the team. Sometimes the process. There's no love, and you've got to come to a point where you start having that feeling, Austin, where when you send those little goodbye notes that you be seeing, those PR written goodbyes. Oh, you guys were great. Thank you so much. There's nothing like something well, why the heck are you leaving?
Thank you, Husker Nation, for the best 2 years of my life. With that being said, I'm entering the transfer portal.
Like, come on, bro. Like, I don't want to hear that no more. Like, at first, maybe earlier in the process, people might be, okay, it's understandable, guys, move on. But it's really tough these days. And this is why I really like Cale Jacobson. This is why I like him. Because
he's a lefty.
He that too. He stuck to the process, man. He stayed. He didn't run for the high heels. He says, I'm going to get better. I'm going to compete.
Gonna do what my team asks of me.
You know what I mean? I that's the kind of guy I like. That's the kind of guy I want on my team.
I feel like we just use the word commit or commitment so much, it's kind of lost its meaning. Like, to commit to something or someone means something. But I feel like with as much as we say, oh, this guy's committed here, soft commit, hard commit, there's so much commitment going on that any single commitment doesn't feel like a true commitment. It feels more like a convenience than a commitment in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
This is what feels right now, so I'm going to do it. And when the winds change, sorry, it's not a commitment anymore.
Right. And no one likes to be the leverage play.
That part.
You know what I mean? Like, look, sometimes I talk crazy. We talk about Mr. No Callback. we talk about Tehran. But listen, T. Lou was an unsung guy out of Mexico, Missouri, playing down there in Kansas City. Early on, people didn't like his measurables, but he started to raise up. And the next thing you know, any and everybody started jumping on him. But he told our staff, he said, I'm still coming. That's a commitment. Because he could have ended up going to your Kansases or any other place. He could have ended up going anywhere, but because we were there with him from the beginning, we saw something in him from the beginning. He liked what we were able to give as far as, team camaraderie from the beginning. And he stayed with his commitment. And you can appreciate that. And that's what I was talking to Josh about. I said, I could have done a lot of things myself, but at the same time, I said, once I said something and I shook your hand and I looked you in your eye, it was good as it was done. That's what I was doing.
Good as gold.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I don't bring that up to wish ill on Caden Brumbaugh by any means. Go get him, young man.
Yeah.
But dang, the traitorship.
Boy.
Layers of that onion. It just stinks. Eastrick, have yourself a good weekend, partner.
Yeah, man. We'll see y'all next week.
Monday, we're going to be at Wilderness Ridge.
That's it.
Amon Green Esports Golf Tournaments. We'll be broadcasting live from there on Monday. We're still here, though, for the rest of the night. At least I am. Me and Jay for Old School. Me for Corner 3. Been fun here for On the Block. Thanks to the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. We'll talk to you from Wilderness Ridge on Monday.